have. So you said it?
I have sent it, yeah.
Send it again just in case needed. Because I think it lacks that school.id. I think it's a must, right?
Yeah.
Is that design?
Other.
Right. Yeah.
Siyempre, ito na kasi sa akin. Ang galing na naman.
So, send this. Alright, let's start. Mom, Dad.
Yeah.
So my moon, Mr. Dustin and Mr. Andre, right? And I'd like to present my 3P presentation for this semester. And please keep in mind that I have an open mind because I've been struggling a lot this semester with my math and other subjects haven't been as good, right? And I'd like to present that here. So let me just tell you about the background of what I've been learning in XinZhong. So there are three, I think you already know, there are three main points in XinZhong. There are the Cambridge section, the national section, and the Chinese section. Right? The Cambridge section is more or less the same, but like I said earlier, the math, science is actually been split up into three groups. It's biology, chemistry, and physics. I excel in biology, I really like biology, but chemistry and physics is a place where I got really nice skills. And that's basically the gist of the Cambridge. National subjects is also the same, but something different that we're doing today, this semester, is that this semester we debated. Actually, we did a debate thing for national. I think I did pretty good. I give props to my team. My team was great. I had a lot of great teammates. And for Chinese, it's now we're moving on to Highscout 5. And as you know, since you've learned Highscout before, Highscout 5 is a bit more advanced, a bit harder, and it's harder on me. But even with that, I still try to do my best. So, the most exciting learning experience was, it was basically just, it was global perspectives, right? Global perspectives, and I don't have the main paper because it's actually a really big project. In GP, what we usually do is we look at world problems, or like problems in the world, and my topic was how cultural sports affect cultural bonds. Right? And we saw that like sports like the Olympics and the World Cup definitely affect our cultures, right? And it affects our cultures by helping us with teamwork and building relationships throughout the culture. Yeah, my most challenging learning experience, like I mentioned earlier, was my debate. We had a debate thing for Indonesia, and it was merged with PPKN. And my topic was about how, mostly about how imported goods, like branded goods from outside, had like, are they used for gengsi or are they used for needs, right? And I was the contra part of it. So my statement was that they used it for gengsi because like imported goods aren't really needed other than for like medicine. Medicine is important. Faculties like let's say you already know, right? Imported goods, right? Imported goods like what you sell are obviously important. Also, branded goods like Gucci and like Apple, they really have a big cult-like following. You know, cult-like following, right? And that's why we say that it's not needed because local producers like Ager, if you know what Ager is. Ager is a Indonesian, Indonesian company, and it sells like hiking gear and like other stuff like that. So, yeah. My most satisfying piece of work, you know, the score isn't as good, but I'd like to explain why. This is not my highest score. Right? I have other higher scores than this, but the reason it's my most satisfying is because it's biology, and I really have to take a liking to biology. I really like biology because, well, I just do. You know, it's a nice subject. It's a good subject in science, and it's always been my favorite throughout as a player. Okay, so let me explain this. My most unsatisfying. I don't actually have the paper to show you, but I'll tell you the scores anyway. So chemistry, first of all, chemistry is one of my weakest points because it combines math and science, which I obviously don't like. It's in physics, right? And we gotta memorize a lot of things from like ionic bonds, covalent bonds, and metallic bonds. We have to get the properties and all of that, right? It is from math. Like I said earlier, a lot of times, math is one of my hardest subjects. And I remember I got around like a 40, maybe even like a 50 on math, right? It's not good. Obviously, it's below the MPG, and it's below the minimum passing grade. But since it's only the first term, I'd like to get that up, and I like to get that up in the later semesters and later terms. Right. The most challenging part was it's just one assignment, but I chose this assignment because it's physics. I don't like physics. Physics is also one of my weakest grades. Even though I did in fact pass this, the minimum passing grade is 60. I did in fact pass this. It's one of my hardest subjects because it combines, as I said earlier, it combines math and science, right? And I like understanding like the material more than memorizing like formulas and all of that. I don't like that. My best project, what I mentioned earlier, I don't have the paper because it was a project, obviously. And my best project was my global perspectives thing I talked about earlier. Like I said earlier, I talked about how cultural bonds affect traditions, and I think we already know where I explained that. My group results. How should I develop English and Chinese? Right? So I feel like for me, my English is already subpar, already good enough. Right? But there are points to get better at, especially my writing part of it. My writing is not good, but I'm pretty sure my speaking is okay. My speaking is okay. My Chinese, that's where we have to look at the big picture here. Chinese is it's hard for me because not only do you have to memorize the words, and you have to memorize more words. If you remember in your class level, in class about 4, you only have to memorize about 30. Now you have to memorize about 40 to 50. And the meanings of the words are harder, right? They're harder, and if you don't know where these words that are used, like, I don't know how to explain it, but these specific words are used for sentences that you if you know what it is, right? For me, it's very hard to understand, but I've already talked to some of my classmates, some Chinese classmates that helped me out a bit, and that's why my Chinese scores are like, the average is fine, but throughout it's like, I still gotta get better. Right, and my goals, right? As you know, my Chinese, like I said earlier, my Chinese is not as good as you think it is. Right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get better at that, trying to improve every day, right? Because like I said, it got way harder than last year's topics. So I'm just trying to keep up and do what I can. I'm not even props, so I'm still excited. And thank you, Mom, Dad, if you have any questions now you can ask me. Thank you, Mr. Gao, and thank you, Mr. Andre, for helping me out throughout the semester. All right? Thank you.
So, Finn, what do you think about how to improve your Chinese? Because Chinese is the most, I think it's the most important is how you communicate with your friend or with the new people that you know. Yeah. Just your environment here is that supporting you to improve your communication skill.
I believe that most people in my group, right, we speak English, right? But that's not saying that the environment is bad, because it's not that my Chinese speaking, listening is bad. My speaking and listening is actually okay. Like I feel like it's average, it's not bad. But what's hard is my comprehension. My comprehension is a bit hard because you have to memorize, like I said earlier, you have to memorize 40, 50 different words. And if you don't know, there's actually this thing called Kimche. And Kimche selects about 25, 30 of those words at random and they make you write it. And they make you, there's also a story and the story is way longer. And now you have to like memorize specific sentences in the story and you have to write it down. Right? And yeah, that's basically it's hard. It's not that like I can't like speak or listen. I'm really good. I'm actually decent at listening. Pretty good at listening. Right?
So in one day, let's say in 1 month, how many percent that you use your time to speak Chinese? Maybe only 10%, 20%, and then the rest is English. How is the portion?
There are about 3 main languages that we use.
Mm-hmm.
It's English, maybe Chinese, right? And I believe for Chinese I use about 20%. 20% is not a lot. And then Indonesian is about maybe 40%, and then the rest is English.
So 40 in Indonesia.
Around like 30, like 30.
Or how about English?
English is about
50. So only 10% you left for Chinese. Is that correct?
20.
20, yeah. How the school can help you to increase the portions in Chinese?
I believe the school can help me increase my Chinese by implementing not only writing and comprehension but also more speaking. Because as you said, speaking is the most important thing of a language, right? If I can't speak the language, the language is useless. If I can only write English but I can't speak in English, how am I going to communicate?
If you put back from the first time you learn English, you watch movie, almost 90% is in English. That's why you can improve your English very fast. I suggest you need to watch Chinese movie to increase your conversation skill, to increase your database vocabulary in Chinese. And then if you can find your friends in speak Chinese, also can improve faster. I don't know, mungkin dari sekolah anak-anak mungkin bahasa Mandarinnya tuh porsinya mungkin bisa diperbesar karena mereka dominannya kuat di Inggris ya. Jadi porsinya timpang gitu Chinese ya saya lihat.
I'm sorry, Pak. I'll give the floor to Mr. Andrew. I'm the English teacher.
Oh, English teacher.
Gimana Pak? Gimana yang bisa? Nanti saya masukkan jadi input ya Pak ya?
Yeah, jadi so many years ya. Also Kevin already give me presentation, give us presentations about. 2 years ago I was concerned about the conversation in Chinese. 2 years ago I also request Kevin, if you can presentation in Chinese, I very appreciate it if you can do it. And then that's why I'm asking about the Chinese because the conversation skill in Chinese I think is not gonna improve faster than English. Because the school is XinZhong. XinZhong is I think that everybody when the parents put the student here, they have a big expectation about Chinese. That's why I don't know how to improve the skill for the students. But most of the students they are strong in English only. But the Chinese, I don't think so. That's not many.
But I think I can speak in behalf of my observations since I'm not part of the Chinese department. But I observe Chinese has a lot of initiatives. They have a lot of projects, clubs, programs to enhance the communication skills, especially in Chinese. We understand Chinese is the hardest language.
Yeah.
And in fact, if we try to compare the performance of XinZhong to other schools, XinZhong still has the better performance because it has been proven with many competitions and not only the comments coming from the community. Now, Actually, this presentation will let the students choose which language they are more comfortable with in using.
Yeah.
Actually, some other students chose Chinese. Kevin and the rest and some of his friends chose English and Ada also Bahasa.
Yeah.
Now, but for the Chinese, they have this program in the afternoon. I forgot the term, but I checked the name of the program because it's in English. Chinese learning hub, in which students can go there. That's for free, and it is done every week. So if students feel they lack a certain skill in Chinese, they can actually enroll it freely. The school, it's open for everybody, for all students. I understand Kevin, as you observe, his Chinese English speaking is actually very good, excellent already, and that's also a reflection to his grades. But when I check his Chinese, although it's good, but it's not really like the same performance with English. That's why I also agree with your dad. One way to to learn faster about communication speaking is to expose ourselves, like watching movies, talk to your friends who are Chinese speaking friends. So, because although we know the theory, but if we do not really put it into practice, then it would not develop. I understand you have Chinese subjects, am I right? And you have different macro skills while learning Chinese, am I right? Yeah. I encourage you as well, try to learn what you've learned in your class and then do it talking to your friends. Because in XinZhong, we have that rule policy that students are only allowed to speak two major languages inside the classroom, inside the school premises, English and Chinese. But I understand majority prefer really English because first, that's the language being used at home as well. Second, only few our students in which parents are also talking Chinese. So I suggest it's actually a collaborative process. Like, are you Chinese now?
Yeah.
You can speak, okay.
Okay.
At home, what language are you using, Kevin?
That time I tried to talk with him in
Uh-huh.
Chinese when he's small and Chinese in Mandarin, yeah. But he always
He answered
answer in
in
English.
In English.
So I also have a same type problem. That's why I put Kevin in XinZhong.
Uh-huh.
I hope the environment can support him to learn.
Yeah.
Also, the same problem happened to other kids.
Mhm.
They're only strong in English, mostly.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my concern. How to
Chinese, we have also Chinese clubs, like the Beauty of China. I suggest Kevin, like you would also. Kevin was actually with me in broadcasting. That's why we used English last year. Am I right? So I suggest you try to join Chinese clubs as well. Like we have the Beauty of China, right? Yeah. Because I know your inclination is English, probably of your environment. But try these Chinese and Chinese, that's also one promising language that we have to learn in preparation for the future. And I believe we have the same vision with your dad. So, yeah. You try to speak Chinese to your dad. Your dad is Chinese, can speak.
Yeah.
So he can also guide you.
I'm trying to clarify Chinese oriented.
But no, yeah, I am also confused. Can you try to speak Chinese to your dad now, like Chinese sentences?
哦，你就用这里的
Oh, reading performance. Go.
the
Each
presentation
Chinese.
a little bit 一点点就可以了。
Make your parents proud.
10%, 20% is okay.
From the greetings. Just 2 slides, that's okay.
Yeah,
Go.
1 or 2 slides. 你好。
这个是我的老师，那是讲一个那是徐教授，徐教授是我的英文老师，就是安子是我的 ICT 老师，这个是我的 QB presentation。
Presentation, I don't know.
You can use other.
You can mix with English,
No
it's
problem.
okay.
这个是我的 QB presentation，因为你要给我问题会在DA。那这是我的 background，你会像你知道，信中有3个main points， 有 Cambridge、National 和 Chinese。那在我的 Cambridge Cambridge it's more or less the same. More or less the same. Nationally, 我在 nationally more or less the same. Chinese 我中文说的，因为我中文说的也不太好，在 Chinese comprehension 也不太好，
Yeah. The vocabulary I need to
it's the vocab.
I need to prepare a bit.
Yeah.
It's mostly the vocab. It's not that I can't speak it. If I have a script, I can definitely speak the entire thing. It's just that my vocabulary is lacking.
Yes, it needs preparation.
It does need preparation.
Yeah, I suggest to develop your Chinese communication. Just use it. When you talk to your classmates, I think they can understand you as well. Because that's one way of learning. Learning Chinese will become more effective if you use it every day. Just like how you use English language as well. But I'm sorry, in English class, I always try to speak English, right? But of course, in Chinese also, like, you have your reporting as well, right? So, daily communication, you talk to your Chinese teachers. We have a lot of Chinese teachers here.
I'll put in the effort. I'll try to speak Chinese. But I do actually have a friend named, I think Gabriel.
Yeah.
He speaks Chinese and Gabriel don't speak
Yeah.
Chinese. I'll try to make my environment more Chinese oriented. Yeah, but
And promise to your dad, the next 3P you have to deliver it in Chinese. Okay? You have to be ready with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that's a goal. Okay, I'm an English teacher, but I'm promoting Chinese. Okay, just to make your parents proud. Okay?
Yeah, naturally I knew that you are preferred to choose English rather than Chinese because your daily language is English, right?
yes.
And all of your friends mostly using English. Try to push yourself. If there is a choice to choose English and Chinese, choose Chinese. Try with your daily activity, not only talking with your parents, also with your device. It will make you learn faster.
Yeah.
You are using phone, right?
Yeah.
Daily, right? You can switch to Chinese language, and you can try it. Luckily, you have a mother who can able to talk in Chinese, so you have a partner lah. You can learn in Chinese, speaking Chinese because it's very hard, right?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Was very thirsty.
Kasi, yan, sabi niya.
I wish my vocabulary was better too.